Forum of WZTV Fox 17. And now your host, Dr. James Haney.
Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is African American Church Day on Capitol Hill, which will be held the 15th of February, this coming Tuesday of this year. And we have with us two persons to talk about African American Church Day on Capitol Hill this morning. State Representative Henry E. Brooks of Memphis, Tennessee, and Reverend JJerkin of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to talk about it this morning. Is that correct, Reverend Jerkins? Clarksville, I'm sorry, Brother Jerkins. Of course, the two of you will be involved in African American Day on Capitol Hill, which will be this coming Tuesday. And Representative Brooks, let us start this program off this morning by having you and Reverend Jerkins to give us some information about your own personal background and education, some information that perhaps led you to the positions that the two of you occupy today. And then we'll get into the topic of African American Church Day on Capitol Hill.
Okay, well, first let me just thank you for the opportunity to come and talk about Church Day and talk about some things that are important to the community at this time. You know, Reverend Haney, I think I got involved in politics and community civics back in 1967. I think I must have been a senior in high school. And I don't know if you know him or not, but A.W. Willis ran for mayor of Memphis then. He was the first African-American to run for mayor. And I was a senior in high school, and just, I believe that's when I got bit by the political bug. And as they say, it's been kind of been in my blood ever since. I've liked to work, I've worked with the community. My district is primarily the inner city area of Memphis, and in fact, I represent one of the oldest African-American community in the country. It's called Orange Mound. I've been working with a number of civic organizations, community organizations, trying to economically empower the community for a number of years. And during that time, we did everything we could do on a grassroots activist level. And after we reached our goal there, we decided in order to complete our agenda, our economic agenda, we needed to move forth. So some of the community leaders and pastors and teachers and just encouraged me to run for state representative, and they just felt that on that level we could accomplish our complete agenda. So just from my community activist background, I moved from that level onto the political arena, and I tell you, I just haven't been sad about that decision at all.
Now, what's your legislative district?
District 92, it consists of primarily inner city. It's a midtown. In fact, my constituents range from the very rich to the very poor. The Orange Mound community, as I said, is one of the oldest community, but in the country, and it's a very historic community, and I'm really proud that I was selected from that district.
Very good. Reverend Jerkins, of course, we've had you on the show on several occasions as a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and I'm very much aware of the fact that you are from Clarksville, Tennessee. But Brother Jerkins, we also know that you're involved as the recruitment chairperson for the African American Day on Capitol Hill, which will be held this coming Tuesday. But before we get into that, let's make our audience familiar with some of the things that are important in your life.
Well, thank you, Dr. Haney. I'm glad to be here this morning, especially to share this program with Representative Brooks, a freshman chairman, freshman representative, and doing an outstanding job in her year. Let me just say that I'm from Alabama. I'm an Alabama boy. I got to Tennessee by way of the United States Army. Served 14 years with the military, and I felt so strongly led of God to completely leave that and give full time to the gospel ministry that I gave up my retirement at 14 years. Made that decision in Germany when we were there the last time in Germany, and never heard of Clarksville, Tennessee. Fort Campbell, yes, but I came here and immediately became associated with the St. John Missionary Baptist Church, where we joined, and my ministry has always been working with young people. And so we worked with the youth there, even as a minister of the church. And then when the pastor left, and I was just about ready to leave the military and go back to Florida, where we had set up our home, but they called me to stay here. And I've been here now for 28 years, 27 years as a minister, pastor of the St. John Missionary Baptist Church. And I've always been involved in the work of civil rights, I would, as somewhat like Representative Brooks. I was involved at 17 with the NAACP and have served in various capacities of that. Never gave up my card, always remained current as a member, even when I was with the military. And of course, it is not my desire to serve as president. I'm serving as president as the will of the people, because pastoring, as you know, takes so much out of one. But it is, it works along with my pastorate, because I am concerned about the civic concerns of the community. Matter of fact, I am concerned with the whole man. So whether it's politics or whether it's a civil concern, I'm there to work along with the moral building of that whole man so that he will be completely involved in all that is healthy in the community.
Very good. Representative Brooks, I think you've already indicated that you're concerned with the economic empowerment of the African-American community. And I think that it's quite known that you've been involved with what we call Title VI. Now, many of our viewers might not know that much about Title VI and Title VI authority. Why don't you start at the beginning and give us as much information to inform us in reference to what this actually means and what you're doing in reference to it at this particular time.
Glad to. In fact, Title VI is an issue that's very close to Dr. King's heart. Title VI, the state bill that we sponsored and passed, is based on the 1964 federal statute, which was passed in 1964. It was an amendment, and it was called Title VI. And what it does is, what it says is that no person in the United States shall, on the ground of race, creed, or color, be discriminated against in any program or activity that receives federal financial assistance. And as we know, federal financial assistance is just our tax dollars. And actually, Reverend Haney, I think Title VI, that very small statute, is the smallest, but the broadest and the widest covering statute that we have on the books. Well, what has happened is that it's been on the books for 29 years and never enforced. It was a part of the entire civil rights package that Dr. King and so many other people protested and lobbied for. We got so excited about the public accommodations part of it, the part that integrated the African-American community into the mainstream society, the part of the civil rights package that allowed us to go into the hotels, into the restaurants and so forth, that we forgot about the economic rights part of it, and that was Title VI, because one thing I always remind people is that it doesn't do a lot of good to have the opportunity or the right to go into these fancy hotels and restaurants, not have the money to pay for it. So Title VI, that amendment has been on the books for 29 years, never enforced. And when I got to the legislature, as part of my platform, of course, as I indicated, is economic empowerment. And that's one of the ways you can do that, because what happened is that you use tax dollars. The majority community use tax dollars for economic development, to create economic development opportunities for communities, for municipalities, for counties, and so forth. You use tax dollars to put together joint ventures, to use as incentives to get corporations and so forth to locate. When we look at the use of our tax dollars, we look at the inner city and we see no benefits. Where are the tax dollars? All the tax dollars are being used outside